Good morning, I'm Jeff. I'm a Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 1010 Southwest Tropicana Avenue here in Beaverton. We're located at the front of the home off to the right of the front doorway where we have a 4-inch cast iron cleanout as our point of access. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. As you can see here, the camera right now is actually sitting at the main lateral. We had, for whatever reason, the monitor shut down once we got it out here. So anyway, there are two video links that we can make out of this. There'll just be one for the way out and one for the way back. But at this point here, I've located the camera head. The line does basically a straight shot across the street. The main lateral is actually about 3-4 feet into the neighbor's yard on the opposite side of the road as this one. So it's exactly 90 feet here. I know the counter's restarted, but this is exactly 90 feet out. And at this point here, all the water is now drained out of the line. We do have it looks like a little bit of standing water in the pipe here. We've had the water turned off for about 5 minutes now or so. And we do have a home inspection going on where they're testing the dishwasher, so we may be getting a little water flow from that every now and then. This is where that's an earthworm there caught in a spider web. And my camera is sloshing around a little bit of water here in the concrete section of the line. So far, the water there has stayed well below a quarter inch. It's only about a 1/16 of an inch of water. It's very, very minimal. But because it's throughout the entire concrete section, if you're putting anything down the line like grease, and sometimes it's hard to avoid, it can slowly but surely build up over time. But this amount of water here will cause debris to collect slowly but surely. So in a situation like this where the amount of standing water here for the most part is fairly minimal. We'll see how it looks here though. This is looking, we went through this spot on the way out and it wasn't clear whether we had debris buildup causing the water to stand like this or not. So but a lot of that water out there that's on the minimal end of things, generally it's totally controlled by homeowner how the debris builds up, as long as you're just putting folded toilet paper down the toilet and a fairly minimal amount of food down the disposal. Things will get through there pretty easily. This spot of the line though is concerning because we've got water going all the way up to the top of the camera lens. Once you hit the point where you've got 3/4 to 1 inch of standing water for about 5 feet is all, that's where you'll get a significant amount of debris building up, and just stuff like toilet paper will collect. At that point, it's hard to keep it from building up. So, looks like the belly starts here. I'm gonna have to do a little kind of math backwards in my head, but we're pulling back from 90 feet. We're about 54 feet out here, if my math is correct, where the belly starts at. I'm gonna push back out to where it ends. And the unfortunate part here is when you've got standing water consistently, in order to get the grade proper, you can't just correct the that particular belly. So anyway, I'm going to get this mapped out here. So this again starts at 45 feet. I apologize, it's a little confusing going in reverse here. I'll get both ends of this marked with a white X. So that section there with an inch of standing water is about 10 feet long. And you can see by how thick the water is with debris that it's causing stuff to hang up there. So I'm going to do markings throughout the whole concrete section. Like I said, you really can't correct a belly without correcting all the other standing water in front of this to get the grade proper generally. So I'm going to get it all mapped out. I do recommend regrading the concrete section from 54 feet out to, well, it might not be quite to the main lateral, but it's pretty dang close. Yeah, you can see how thick that water is there. There's a lot of junk built up in it. I'm going to kind of push back out here most of the way just to see where that... Yeah, we've got pretty much consistent standing water all the way out. Once you get towards the end here, it's a lot less significant. So I'm going to pull back here. It's not quite as long as I had thought. Looks like that the belly basically, the main portion of it ends right here, actually right where this earthworm is caught in the cobweb. So looks like so we're about 10 feet back, so from 54 feet to 80 feet, I recommend correcting the standing water. And unfortunately, right here, there is a car parked directly over the top of the camera head currently. I'm not going to be able to put a marking here. But as far as I can tell, I kind of have to reach the locator wand underneath the car. It looks like the belly stops about 3 feet shy of the street curb on the opposite side of the road. So it spans almost the entire street, basically, about 3 feet shy of that. The majority of the standing water, though, starts right here at about 18 feet. I'm going to put a marking here. Just keep in mind, once you go beyond this point, it is quite minimal, and it's hard. When we've got this much debris damming up the pipe, the water moves really slowly. It can kind of slosh in and out of the bellies. Okay, putting marking out in the street here. The locate came in very, very clearly. The issue I'm having here is that every time I take a depth locate on this, it's bouncing around from 10 inches deep to 3 feet to 5 feet to 7 feet and then all the way back down again. So there's some kind of interference under the roadway there that's messing with the locate, at least the depth of it. The actual locate of it came in very clearly. Now we were basically smack dab in the middle of the street there. So. And we're having such a heavy rainstorm today, none of these paint markings are going to last. If you do a repair, you're going to have to call for locates and have it remarked, as most of my paint is already washed away at this point. So we'll just do one last locate here where the belly starts at. I'll bet the belly pretty much just spans the roadway. It's a fairly common thing. The road settles and takes the line with it. I'm having an even worse time trying to locate right here. Based on the length here of the belly, it looks like it starts basically right at the driveway skirt. And they're right in line with one of the markings right in the driveway skirt. There's actually, the concrete is caved in and it's directly in line with the sewer pipe. So usually when you get settling directly in line with locates, it's pretty obvious to see what's happened. The ground is obviously settled there, so it's directly in line. So anyway, in order to get this one dug up, you're going to have to call for locates. Unfortunately, when I'm right here, I cannot pick up a single signal whatsoever. It's bouncing all over the place, like there's electronic interference under the ground. So anyway, from 54 feet to 80 feet, I do recommend correcting the standing water. Throughout that section there, about the first half of it has got an inch of standing water. The last half is sitting around 1/16 to 1/4 of an inch. But it is causing debris to build up in the line. We've got the water out there is just a thick slurry of stuff. So if a repair is not done in this situation, it looks like the entire belly is under the roadway essentially. It may start a couple feet up into the driveway skirt. It's all under concrete, so it is an expensive repair to do. So if a repair is not done right now, I would recommend getting the line jetted out either way, get it cleaned. If you're going to do a repair, it's not going to be an issue, but if no repair is done, get it jetted to clean all the debris out, and then do a rescope in a year to see what it looks like at that point. Every household lives differently, and the line is going to handle every family's living activity differently. So that will give you an idea of how much debris is building up in there and how quickly. And then you'll know if you have to worry about doing hydrojets on it at any type of regular intervals or anything like that. And I know this is saying 80 feet here. It's just because we did this all backwards. But when I zeroed the camera out on the way out, it was a 90-foot run all the way over. The line goes out, looks like through the driveway area there. Anyway, apart from the belly of the line, the rest of the pipe is in good condition and has good flow. I do recommend a rescope after any repair work is done to ensure it was done correctly. And then we'll also have to call for locates before doing any digging.